Hi, my name's Tolson. I'm a third-year pathology resident at the University of Hawaii. I'm originally from Georgia and moved out here 2.5 years ago to start residency. I have a wife and 2 beautiful children. My family loves to go on hikes and play at the beach. I love my view from the residence room at the hospital. A typical day for me involves looking at cases, answering phone calls, and getting paged down to the operating room. We all know residency can be really busy and a lot of work, but I still try to make time to exercise, go to the beach, and spend time with my family. I initially got interested in medicine during undergrad when, as a business major, I decided to take a human anatomy course over the summer semester. I fell in love with the human body and the amazing way that it works. Working in the anatomy lab introduced me to pathologists. It's a bit cliche, but my first introduction to pathology was at the medical examiner's office. Hollywood would have us believe that all pathologists do is work with dead bodies and perform autopsies, and while that's one of my responsibilities, as a pathologist, I look at slides under the microscope to make a diagnosis, and that diagnosis is the foundation for a patient's treatment plan. It can determine whether they get surgery alone or surgery and chemotherapy. One of the most rewarding things for me is when a patient has a suspected malignancy, and then under the microscope I can determine that it's actually just a reactive or benign process and alleviate that stress and that worry for them. One of my favorite things to do as a pathologist is intraoperative or frozen consultations, where we get paged to the operating room and actually dissect the tissue, make slides, and look at it under the microscope while the patient is still in surgery. And what we see under the microscope can help guide the surgery. The thing that inspires me every day is to come up with the right diagnosis for a patient. I love the puzzle and the mystery of looking at slides, and that finally figuring out what's been causing a patient's symptoms and giving them an answer is very rewarding. At the end of my residency, I'll be attending Stanford for a GI and liver pathology fellowship. Over the next 5 to 10 years, I see myself working in academic medicine, where I can work with medical students and residents to teach and inspire the next generation of physicians. A lot of my own journey came from excellent teachers in the anatomy lab that first introduced me to medicine and pathology, and through my mentors in medical school and residency. Another passion I have for teaching is actually teaching patients. The stereotype of a pathologist working in the basement without windows and never interacting with people no longer holds true. We're now part of interdisciplinary teams where we can educate patients about the biology of their cancer. We can explain to them what we see under the microscope and what makes their cancer unique. Increasing patient understanding about what we see under the microscope helps them understand why they need surgery and radiation. I think the more we educate patients, then the more empowered they are to make decisions about their own care. The new ICON grant from FIGS is an amazing opportunity to alleviate the stress of student loans and allow me to choose a practice setting that's based on my dream of integrating pathologists more into patient care and having the opportunity to teach the next generation of physicians rather than choosing based on financial constraints. When I have free time, some of my favorite things to do are play board games, go on hikes, or spend time with my family at the beach. The weather is beautiful here in Hawaii, and my family loves to go on hikes and swim at the beach. I really love my view from the residence room at the hospital.